meat and curry, I'm your man. Cause how we all lose it is a mystery. It's like the changing of our wardrobes from a dire history. But it's the one making us not stop. 50 kilograms is all we've got to drop. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's 50 kg Drop podcast. Tonight, you have myself and also a special guest, a guy called Richard Phillips, who's a men's weight loss coach. Richard lost 37 kilograms in 8 months and has coached men over 40 to lose 10 kilograms in 3 months with his proven methods. Richard, hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is my first podcast, so I'm actually quite excited and nervous at the same time because I've no idea where this is going to go.
There is nothing to be nervous about on this podcast. I can assure you. So I came across your profile on not LinkedIn, on Instagram, and yeah, some of the posts you were putting out there really resonated for what we're trying to do. So
Okay.
Would love to understand everything about you, your story, and kind of go from the top, really.
Okay, so I mean, we actually need to go all the way back to lockdown. So how old was I at the time? I was 42 when we sort of went into lockdown. As with the first lockdown, I was overweight before we hit lockdown, and then lockdown turned up and I was drinking heavily whilst we couldn't do absolutely anything. And my weight ballooned. And then as we got closer to Christmas, I became very aware that I was now the same sort of age that my dad was when he first had a heart condition. And I was like, I really need to do something about it, but I didn't know what to do. I was a little bit lost with how I was going to go about it. I play rugby, I play sport. I'm a fairly active person, but I didn't know how to go about losing weight. And just after Christmas, I slipped on some black ice when we went into that second lockdown, and I displaced my pelvis. At the time I had 2 kids. I've still got 2 kids. And I was unable. I couldn't go and see anybody because we were in lockdown. I couldn't get to a hospital or anything like that because I couldn't move or drive. I was literally crawling around because the pain was so bad. I called 111 and they actually sent some tramadol out to me. They got somebody to deliver it for me because I couldn't get out the house. And I was in a really, really bad way. Nothing opened. I couldn't see a physio or anything until January the 10th. And this happened on like the 27th of December. So I'd a long time where I was pretty much sofa bound. And I was trying to look after my kids as well. I was like, I can't look after myself, let alone look after my children. I was like, at which point I've now got to do something.
The whole lockdown thing really resonates because I was in a similar state.
Yeah. And sort of since I've come out of lockdown, I've looked back at lockdown and sort of I had my kids 50% of the time. So the other 50% of the time I was very much on my own in a 4-bedroom house, rattling around. I was in isolation for like basically the best part of a year. And mentally, that is a really damaging place to be. On top of that, with all the being injured, not being able to look after myself, that really played heavily on my mind and where I was at and that is sort of like the fundamental point that made me decide to make a massive change to my life. And yeah, from there, James Smith.
Yes.
He's an online PT.
Yeah, I've read his book.
Which one?
Got a line going through it.
Yeah.
Not another diet book?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. I've got all 3 of his books. And I did his challenge on the James Smith Academy where you could win a holiday. It was, I think, what was it? It was £50 a month. I was like, I don't even care if one of the things that resonated was it was like, even if you don't win the holiday, you've won because you'd have lost some weight. And that was like, it resonated with me. I was like, forget about it. Forget about the money. Forget about anything else. Let's just go and do it. Best decision I ever made. You had a great community. I've made some really good friends out of it online. There was a real community of people trying to help each other from there. So I signed up for him, which started on January the 14th that year, and I went and saw my osteopath on January the 12th, who kind of realigned my pelvis for me. So it all kind of started together. And my physio, my osteopath turned around to me and was like, I just want you to walk for 15 minutes a day to start with. That's all I could do just to start rebuilding up the strength and everything like that. And I started off with a 27-minute mile. And that was me walking at full as fast as I could go, 27, and it would have been a 27-minute mile. And then I was weighing in at 120 kgs. I was 5'9". So I mean, I was huge.
It's rookie numbers to some of us.
Yeah. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I just started, and that became my day in lockdown. It also gave me a sense of purpose. My daily walk.
I could totally resonate with this. The first lockdown, I was living with my granddad to kind of support him throughout that time.
Yeah.
I was in between houses. We were trying to buy a house, so we had to move back in with parents. So I thought I'd move in with my granddad, who was he was just old at the time. He's now got dementia, but was kind of looking after him. Then went to work. COVID was all being spoken about, and then I got all the symptoms. So we moved my granddad out to my mum's house. I was then
Yeah.
isolated in a house for about, because you didn't really know. I was there for about 6 weeks, seven weeks by myself.
Yeah.
And I got COVID pretty bad to the point where like I couldn't really breathe.
Okay.
But I was never hospital bound or anything like that. I was just like really bad at the start. So I ate my way into like it's a fat abyss basically, and
Yeah.
I remember Deliverooing them Colin the Caterpillar mini rolls. It's like, and in my head that was like this weird thing that was like you're ill, so treat yourself. So I was eating them like
Yeah.
crisps, and then I turned back round. I had my beard down here, hair out here,
Yeah.
and I thought, what on earth have you done? So I did exactly the same as you. But as soon as I got my lungs back, I would go on walks. But I was like dripping wet with
Yeah.
sweat when I started walking and stuff. It was crazy. And then carried that on, trying different wines and stuff like that. I started an
Yeah.
Instagram page called The Wine Swine. I was comparing, I was rating English wines basically. Which didn't help at all because I became a fat alcoholic then as well as just a fat bloke.
Yeah.
And then I the second lockdown I moved in with my missus's parents because again we'd bought the house then moved back in. We needed to isolate my granddad. And then I got into a fitness routine. I started walking every day. I got so addicted to walking that I ended up walking to London and back, which was like the marathon length.
I love that.
And then it all started coming. The weight wasn't really well, it was coming down, but it wasn't really a diet. It was just more like keeping yourself sane type thing.
Yeah.
And then since then I went back into work and I found lockdown a really difficult, like the whole nation lost its brain, didn't it? Like
Oh,
we were hitting our pots and pans on our doorsteps. Like that's not normal behavior.
there was nothing. I mean, look. I learned sort of like doing my walks and things like that. That people just lost their complete common sense about what normality and sort of just. I mean, where I am, I'm really lucky. I live in Farnham, and we've got beautiful green space all around us, and we can get out and we could walk. I mean, I couldn't think of anything worse than if I was living in London in a tower rise with two or three kids, nowhere to go. I mean, you would go absolutely start raving mad. I mean, I was drinking, do you know those really big bottles of Moretti or Peroni that you can get? And I was drinking 3 of them a day just because I had nothing else to do in the first lockdown. I'm trying to homeschool the kids. They're doing that. They're online. I'm getting bored out of my brain. Yeah, it was just a really, really, and it's only when you look back on it you actually realise how badly it affected you.
Bad routines, isn't it? It
Yeah.
just I was in a tidal wave of bad. Like I was eating bad, drinking bad, and where I was lonely, I think it really accentuated that for me to be on a diet properly, I need to be around people because subconsciously it must be something about people's opinions to make me not have the self-respect to stop doing what I was doing.
Right. So we are designed to be around people. I truly believe that we're designed to interact with people, and if we're left to our own devices, then we just get into bad habits. We don't hold ourselves accountable because we have no need to. I mean, one of my big things that I do with my diet with my clients and things like that is I talk to them. It's like, I can't do it for you. I'm just there to be your accountability partner.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's interesting. So how did you then kind of get the weight off? What was your method?
So I basically, I mean, I just signed up for the James Smith program. I walked every day. I made sure I did 10,000 steps every day, and I calorie counted. I tracked everything on MyFitnessPal, and I was religious. And I started cooking everything from fresh. So, but didn't stop having I didn't stop having sort of like takeaways and things like that. I just absolutely reduced the amount I was having of them. And but yeah, everything. So I was having cooked breakfasts every morning. I was making lunch. I was investing in the time because I had that time. I was investing in cooking with the kids, and we were trying new things out. I mean, and I was getting them to try new foods and things like that. And it became a bit of a thing for us that we would just always constantly try new meals. And the more that I got into it, I found that my mindset was changing and my outlook on everything started changing. I became a much more mindful person about what I was doing. Sort of like one of James Smith's big things is it's like at the end of the day, we're gonna die. So we might as well enjoy the things we enjoy anyway. Just build it into your plan. So, I mean, as I was saying, so during lockdown, my mate's got an Italian restaurant. So I was helping him. So during lockdown, he became a takeaway place. So I was helping do deliveries, but that meant I was getting like pasta from them sort of like when I was helping out, or pizzas and things like that. So I was still managing to eat the foods that I enjoyed, but because I was tracking everything and I knew where I can have sort of like and it's not a cheat day. I used to call it a cheat day, but it was like I can actually have that indulgence. I can have that because I've been good elsewhere. So one of the things I've taken out of the weight loss, and one of the things I tell all my clients is like, whatever your daily calories are, times them by 7, right? And then that gives you your weekly target. How you want to spend them is up to you.
One bad day doesn't actually knock out the kit. You can make it up. I think that's one thing we've learned this year is
Yeah. Get
yeah,
back on track as quickly as you can. The quicker you get back on track is the when you're going to get the best results.
yeah. And I think the kind of back to kind of COVID, I think the secret eater really gets found out in COVID because there's you're you're only cheating yourself, but at that time you don't feel like you're cheating yourself, and you're also in that kind of weird psychological state where you've been kind of eating on the side for years, and then you got this
Yeah,
free
yeah.
window to eat whatever you want. And
Well, and this is the problem, right? Suddenly we had 24/7 where we could just go to the fridge.
yeah, yeah, it kills me. I'm working from home for the last week and a bit because I've torn something in my glute,
Oh,
can't walk, and the fridge is there.
yeah.
Deliveroo's here, and it's just like deadly, like proper deadly.
It's and that's the bit, and that's where I always make sure when I'm being and see the problem I find with people when you talk to them about calorie counting, they're like, oh, but it's obsessive. It's like, well, it's not. It's just you're not obsessive when if you're trying to save for a home, you're watching every penny that goes into your bank account, right? Is that obsessive or is that smart? Right. But the moment we put that to food, I'm being sensible. Oh, you're being boring. Oh, you're being obsessive. It's like, why am I being obsessive that I'm trying to look after myself? I mean, I'd go out with my friends when we were allowed out, and they're like, "How can you eat anything you want and having lost all that weight?" And it's like, because I know that I'm good 80% of the time. So when I have a little bit of a blowout, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And your kind of transformation, you said your peak was 120.
Yeah.
What did you get that back down to?
So I got that down to 85, 83.
83. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good going.
Yeah. So I got that down to 83 kilos. I was there for about a day and a half. I went and played a game of rugby, and I I'm forward. I've got a very simple game. I'm not the most talented player in the world, but I run hard and I run into people, and I like doing that. And I ran into one player and he hit me. I don't even think he hit me particularly hard, but he stopped me dead, picked me up, ran backwards with me, dumped me into the ground, and I went, that really hurt. And at which point I put on sort of 6 or 7 kilos to get back to I'm comfortable around 90
Yeah.
with playing rugby. Between 90 and 93 is where I'm happiest at, and I feel confident in myself doing that. But I know when I stop playing rugby, I want to get down to sort of, my target would be to get back down to 80 and maybe less, because I don't need to carry as much.
Yeah, okay. And are you still calorie counting?
So I, at the moment, yes, I am. I've got back into it recently. But because I got on the scales and I'd gone back up to 98. Again, I've been injured from sort of January, and because of that, I'd stopped focusing on everything. So now I've gone back. I'm being very religious again. What I have found is that you can't do it all the time, because because then it becomes, if you're doing it all the time, it loses its actual influence on what
Yeah,
you're doing.
I think that's the point I'm at the moment. It's January, I lost 12 kilograms. I think one of the guys lost 14 and someone lost 16 in 1 month.
Yeah.
And then Feb lost again about another stone.
Yeah.
And then March have been kind of plateauing, April plateauing.
You should
Uh,
only really, I believe, only be in a calorie deficit for like 3 months at a time.
yeah, I've definitely not been in a calorie deficit for this month, but I'm
No,
not gaining weight. So
you're not going. So
I'm
you're in a
happy.
maintenance, which is perfect, right?
Yeah.
So if you're in a maintenance, that's fine. Because the problem is, if you're in a calorie deficit all the time, mentally that becomes really hard and really affects you, because you're always, that's where you become obsessive, when it becomes month after month after month. You have to have a break from these things. You have to live a normal life where you're being a bit indulgent and things like that. We go on holiday. I mean, I'm going on holiday later in the year. I'm going to Africa to see some friends and things like that. I'm not going to be overly calorie counting there, because the wine's really cheap and the steaks are massive. So yeah, but I will be aware of what I'm having in the back of my mind. I know that a bottle of wine is 600 calories,
Yeah. That's
right?
not bad going as well, is it, really?
Yeah. So if you know it roughly in your head what you're consuming, you can pick something up and go, do I actually want that? But when I'm being like, now I'm being very strict with what I'm doing. I'm tracking everything because I want to get the weight down.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Um, I mean, if you look at boxers, for instance, they only go into account for 12 weeks. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, I've done 3 fights and they're brutal. It's the training more than the diet. Like, the dieting's tough, but 6 days a week, yeah.
Exactly. Dieting and training 6 days a week is going to take a toll somewhere on your body and on your mind. A friend of mine did one of those body fitness comps, sort of like transformation of her body, and by the end of it, her friends would invite her out for dinner, and she was taking the food that she could eat with her and asking the kitchen to cook it for her.
When you're really in the zone. Like
Yeah.
I can see my. Oh, I don't think I can see myself doing it, but I have been in restaurants where I go, "I'll take a chicken breast, please."
Yes. Yeah. Exactly that. Right. And that's where it becomes obsessive, and that's where you get the problems from. I mean, I've been watching Eddie Abu recently,
Yeah, what a man.
and I love what the message is trying to sell. I just don't like the way he's delivering it.
What, the shut the
Um,
fuck up?
yeah, well, as stop being so fucking stupid, but actually be kind. It's like if you want to educate people, don't call them stupid. It
Yeah.
just the system has taught us to believe that this is good for us. So
Yeah.
telling them
And
that so for telling them that they're stupid for following what they've been force fed is a bit unkind. I mean, this guy's pumped steroids into him for years, right? And now suddenly he's a reformed person. It's like, have a break.
I think that messaging sometimes is needed though, with the
Yes.
amount of stuff that you're battling. Like I put him and Goggins in the same camp of like they're very direct, very to the point. And if you think what they're tackling though, they're tackling multi-million pound marketing machines in every supermarket, every product, everything like that. And I think for a shock message, I think sometimes you do need to do that because again,
Yes.
I've had people that are like adamant that drinking pints every day is a good thing because there's some marketing that told them that. Like,
Oh, look.
yeah,
I mean, if you look over the history of time, back in the 30s, doctors were prescribing cigarettes for people to calm stress, right?
yeah.
I mean, there is literally. I mean, they're talking about banning cigarettes completely from for anyone born after 2009. Which I mean, I'm in a split mind on that. I don't agree with smoking, but I don't agree with sort of like taking your freedom of choice away. I mean, people are entitled to be idiots if they want to. Blah. But yeah, it's just like it's so yeah. Education is for me. Education is the biggest key. I mean, if you look, they've just bought out this. You can take these tablets, can't you, for to stop you meal suppressant injections or whatever it is.
So one of the guys is doing it. It's a so we met we met a company called Thriver Health, which is a pinprick blood test
Okay.
company that you send off. It was actually really interesting listening to that because
Yeah.
they're saying the amount of times you go to the hospital to get your blood tests and then you get no information back, or if you do, it's all in Latin and you don't really understand.
Which you've got no idea about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the core fundamentals of their business is to give you more control over that. And we're gonna do a trial of that on the pod and kind of feedback what we think of it because that can tell you if your diet's bad or if it's affecting your sleep, stress, energy levels, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff, which is quite
Okay.
interesting. A new section to them is this Wegovy thing, and they've done. I think they're a pretty credible bunch, but they've done a crazy amount of research into it, and their mindset is this is a way to help people get in a bigger deficit, so
Yeah.
you can take it to stop putting food in and not have the kind of mental battle of oh god I'm starving, oh god I should be eating, or that sort of thing, which and they say we don't recommend anyone to be completely on this for a long period of time. It should just be an aid to get you up and running and going, and
It
one of the
should be.
guys is doing it. He's managed to outdrink the jabs, to be fair, so
And this
it's not
is
a proven solution. Yeah.
it's not and the thing for me is right, is that re-education or is that just masking the issue?
Yeah, I think that the reason why I haven't done it is I've given up cigarettes. I've completely changed my life at times to do like boxing and running marathons, this sort of stuff. Running marathons is a bit strong, but I finished it. Didn't
Yeah,
get it
that
run the whole way.
mate. I
Um,
I literally, unless I'm playing sport, you'll never see me running anywhere. I hate it. So
which was my mentality. Yeah,
yeah,
and I like to give myself a challenge each year, which pushes me out of like complete comfort zone. The marathon was hands down one of the best and worst days of my life. But
yeah,
the reason why I don't do the injections is because I have systematically been battling my weight since I was a kid.
yeah.
I've always been the big guy in the class and the bigger fella in the class.
Oh,
Like to give you some kind of figures. I'm 6'4". At the peak of how fat I was probably at 170 kilograms.
Okay.
I'm down to about 150 now. 147, I think I am on the
Yeah.
scales.
Yeah.
Um,
That just do that for.
when I was boxing, I got to a 122, and if you stripped all the fat off me from one of the medicals I had, I'd be 110 kilograms underneath it all. So that's just muscle and bone, basically. So I'm a naturally big guy.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think for me, the suppressing of eating is only temporary. I think that feeling is only temporary, and I think when you're dieting, you want to get yourself in a habit of getting comfortable in the uncomfortable situation for a period of time for it to become normal. That's the way.
So so for me, one of the best comments I heard was, "I'm not fat, I have fat."
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because then by saying I am fat, you can't really do much about that. I
Yeah,
have fat, I can change that.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's my thoughts on the jabs. I think the jabs, you're not training your brain to make this
You're
a
not
permanent thing.
training that. I mean, so I one of the things I love through what I've learned, I went off and became a nutrition. I went to Precision Nutrition and did their courses.
Okay. They
Um,
fueled me through the marathon last year, Precision Nutrition.
oh
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So I did their nutrition and they exceptional course. I'd recommend it to absolutely anybody. And because it's an American company, it's a damn sight cheaper than going with the English companies. And they're generally the gold standard from the people I spoke to and things like that. And do you know what I came out of it is my kids watched me studying and learning, and they were seeing the benefits of me. And now they follow a lot more of what I say, and they're much more aware of what they're eating and things like that. And they challenge the schools when they keep coming to them with advice that they know that I disagree with. And they've sort of picking up their own opinions, but it's like when the teachers are always demonizing food, or this is bad for you. And both my kids will tell the teachers, nothing is bad for you in isolation, and you can't have good food, bad food. It's just like there's good. If you over he said if you do something consistently, then you're going to have a problem. And one of the teachers came back to the kids and said, "Yeah, but look at Super Size Me. That proves that McDonald's is bad for you." And they said, "But they did that over a month. They ate McDonald's every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a month. Of course, you're going to have a problem." And it's like, and now we're sort of like, and I love the fact that the kids will all turn around and they'll argue their point at school. There's no such thing as a bad diet. It's you've just got bad habits.
Yeah, and that education piece at that age is probably so important because, again, I remember growing up, and I think my mum, it's safe to say that she's always kind of battled with her weight, but she would be diet foods all week, this sort of thing. We'd have no treats in the house whatsoever. But as soon as her back was turned, I was around the corner shop trying to eat
Yeah,
everything I could probably get my hands on.
yeah.
Um,
And that's the point, is it? My parents, when I was a kid, wouldn't let me have sugar on my breakfast cereal.
yeah,
Right?
same for me.
I'd go around my grandmother, she'd pile it on for me.
Exactly the same for me. Yeah, and that also then creates this kind of treat reward system, which then
Yeah,
makes you, when you get to adult life, you tend to, life starts making sense. Like you get your first job, you get some wins at work, this sort of stuff, and you naturally start treating yourself all the time.
yeah, yeah.
It turns into pints, then turns into everything else, and I just,
Exactly. And then
yeah,
then you get into the fuck it mode, don't you? It's like, oh, I've had 5 pints, I'll have a sixth pint or whatever. And you carry on going and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's the other thing I also have found is that, and it certainly helped with my daughter, is that actually we put too much emphasis on failure being a bad thing. If you don't succeed at something, it just gives us a better opportunity to do better next time. And I've had years. My weight has gone up and down over the years, and it was a standard joke at the rugby club. People could tell it was sort of like where I was in my life, depending on what size I was, because I would literally I could gain and lose weight just like that, but I could never keep it off because I would literally, once I'd hit the weight where I wanted to, or somebody would say something that made me feel like I'd achieved what I wanted to, I'd just go back to my old ways.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as me. I totally resonate with that. Where are you in your headspace at the moment? Are you,
So
you
my headspace at the moment, I'm probably in the best place I've been for 6 to 8 months now. I I tore, I damaged my rotator cuff in my shoulder.
yeah, I've got surgery for that coming, yeah.
Yeah, and I've got an amazing physio who I met at my rugby club, who has. I went to see her about the shoulder because I actually couldn't lift my duvet. It
Yeah, I've
hurt
been
that
there.
much. And she got me to lift my arm up, and she just went, "Oh!" I was like, "I didn't need to hear that, did I? That's not a good oh." And she went, "No, that's really bad." And basically, I just shut my entire shoulder down. She was like, I reckon we're probably going to need surgery on this, but I've worked really, really hard with it, and I'm now pretty confident that I'm back. I'm not going to need surgery."
I got to that point with fucking shoulders, and then I pulled a door open uh on holiday, and it just completely went again. And I was just like,
Okay.
this is so annoying. That's been going on for about 5 years, back and forth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going to do the surgery. I'm a bit torn with it all, to be fair, because I've got private medical that I pay for because I wanted to get all this shit done.
Yeah.
And every time I see the surgeon, it's like we tried an injection, we then did physio, we then I was back saying it hadn't really improved. But you don't. I'm not sure you get the right like I'm in sales, so
Oh,
I'm really conscious of people selling to me. And all I can think of is this guy's profiteering off the fact he's going to open up my shoulder, and that's the bit that I just don't get. But it also makes sense for me to have it. But I'm really like in a tough place with this.
so years ago, I was what, 34. So 12 years ago, I had spinal surgery, um, prolapse discs. And I went and saw my osteopath because he was like, come and see me. Because if you go down the route of surgery, there is nowhere else to go after that. So come see me if I can do anything to help you. And he had one session. He goes, you need the surgery, come see me afterwards and I'll do the rehab for you. And I was like, fantastic. He gave me the best bit of advice. He's like, you need the surgery. We did the whole surgery. I went back, saw him, had me back playing rugby within 3 months. Everything was hunky dory. But I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm always cautious of people. Oh, you need this or you need that, because like you make money out of me at the end of the day if I have that done. So yeah, I mean I'm with you where you are on that point.
Yeah, I was meant to have it last Friday, and then I played football on the Saturday. Felt like a knot in my glute, in my left
Yeah.
glute, and then Sunday played again, and I could barely walk off the pitch.
Oh
And
Jesus.
I just haven't been able to move since, and that's moved to my lower back now. So I thought the last thing I need is to actually go and lose another limb.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've postponed it, but I still something still doesn't feel right because I've managed to get the shoulder back years ago,
Yeah.
and I haven't, even though I don't think that's achievable, and the only reason why it's not hurting at the moment is because I'm just not doing golf. Darts sets the darts off, like the shoulder off. Sorry,
Yeah,
and
no, I can see that. I can see that, to be fair.
it's stuff like that where you're just like, come on, like you just got to go and get it done.
Well, and it also you get to the point where again it affects you mentally because you can't do the things that you know you should be able to. One of the big things that I've learned through doing the precision nutrition is that there are 6 elements of your health. You've got your physical health, you've got your mental health, you've got your emotional health, your relational health, environmental health, and your existential health. And that all interlinked. If one of them drops off, it affects all the others. So if you're not enjoying where you're living or you're not enjoying your relationships that you're in, that's going to affect you mentally. That's going to affect you emotionally, which is going to stop you going to the gym or doing your exercise, which is going to make you feel shit about yourself. And it's just a never ending circle. So it's something we need to work on every day, whether it's losing weight or whatever it is. If we're working on each of those aspects every day in one way or another, we're going to be a better person for ourselves.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I always find so. Last year, I was in a terrible place work-wise. It was I was kind of put in to manage a division that I didn't want to do,
Yeah.
and it was just toxic. It was awful, and I was getting married last year. I was running the marathon. It's all stuff that I should be pleased about and happy about, and if I didn't have that job, I think I would have actually lost quite substantial amounts of weight. But it was this like crazy amount of stress where
I was going to say, yeah, I just
yeah,
saying that. You think of the stress you're putting. I remember when I got married, the stress I went through leading up to the wedding. I should know my ex-wife, but we went and had these dance lessons for our first dance and things like that. And really key. And when we had our first dance, she turned around to me as we started. She goes, "I've forgotten all the moves." And I kind of lost it a little bit on the dance floor, going, "What? You forgot? We spent all that money doing that, and you've forgotten." And I look back at it, it's something I really have regretted over since I lost it. But it was like it was almost a release because of
yeah,
the stress and the build up to it. And I was just like, oh my God. So yeah, that you're getting married, that's a really stressful time. Financially, it's hard, right? You're stepping into the unknown.
and
There was one
everyone you speak to goes, "You're going to be wiped out by this."
exactly right. You're then training for a marathon, and let's be honest, marathons aren't easy. There's a reason why lots of people don't do them because they're
Yeah,
freaking hard work, right?
I couldn't get past 5K if I'm honest. I managed to get to halfway through a half marathon in Essex,
Yeah,
and I had to give up on the top of a hill because, and then I was just in a mindset of I'm too heavy for this. I've taken because I was at my peak weight at that point,
yeah, okay,
164, 165.
yeah. So
Um,
that's then going to play into, oh look, I'm a failure, right?
yeah, it was more like I think this is I think you've bitten off more than you can chew. So
Yeah,
I then just got it done on the day, and but yeah, slow. I did about 7 hours, but
but that's an achievement, right? Because you hadn't done it before.
I watched a bit of the marathon yesterday or Sunday, whenever it was,
Yeah.
and I can see why people get addicted to running because it's like that the atmosphere and everything was amazing there. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like a failure on the day. I felt like someone who actually climbed Everest.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and yeah, for me again, it was like overcoming the mental battle of actually getting over the line, and that was the bit that
And that's the point. And it's sort of like it's just like when you're doing something like that, you almost got to forget about the end goal. It's just getting past the next mile.
yeah, I've got Ben Nevis in the calendar in 4 weeks.
Oh, fair play.
But
With a torn glute.
I currently can't walk. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
But
hopefully,
As Goggins said, wasn't it? He ran a ultra marathon on two broken shins or something, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
he is.
that's the bit that's going through my stupid brain at the moment. I just I'll probably get air ambulance off the top.
I mean, thing is, he is. I mean, have you listened to his books or anything like that?
I've listened to a couple of podcasts with him, and it's just it's a sensational brain, isn't it?
If you listen to his book and you listen to his early story, you realize why the guy is like he is. I mean,
Really?
his dad. Oh yeah, his dad was a complete. I mean, if Jesus Christ. I mean, when he openly talks about his mum and her brothers were talking about murdering the dad so they could actually lead a normal life. He's got a lot of childhood trauma and proving that he's somebody worthwhile. His dad, I mean, there's one bit in the book where he's talking. It was like he would beat them, and I mean beat them,
Wow.
and recants it in vivid detail, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so yeah, it's a really powerful book. I listened to it as an audiobook, and yeah, it took quite a bit to listen to it.
Yeah, I might give that a go. I think
Um,
I'm going to need it for the
yeah,
if I get up there.
yeah, exactly that. And I mean, he's definitely another book that I've read that I mean, I've got into books massively. Atomic Habits.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that. I just haven't read it because I bought two books for my honeymoon.
Yeah.
A book called Exercised by Daniel Lieberman.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That was so he studied like all walks of life to get kind of like animals to apes to
Oh,
every
yeah. That. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know the guy you know. Yeah.
and yeah, he was basically saying that the biggest takeaway I took from it was sitting down it is probably worse for you than eating like a monstrous amount of
Yeah.
stuff. Like if it's sitting down turns all your organs off.
This
Um,
is that we're just not we're not born. We were born to move.
yeah, and he was saying like you'll be surprised that like a gorilla spends 22 hours of a day sitting down or something nuts like that. And he goes, but when they move, it's very fast paced and stuff, so they burn a lot of energy. But
Well, if so, I've always seen the gym. If I want to lose weight, I've got to go to the gym. That's always been my mantra growing up. You always told, "Oh, you're overweight. You got to get to the gym. You
yeah,
got." And you couldn't be anything further from the truth. It's all your movement outside of the gym that actually
yeah.
makes the difference.
And I set out at the start of the year to avoid injuries because I'm always injured with
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
January was a great month, and I started to get back into boxing when I'd lost a bit of weight, but I was doing stuff in a gym very minimally, but I was just
yeah.
walking loads, eating well.
Right, walk. So something I learned I only learned this recently. You burn as many calories per kilometer walking as you do running.
Yeah, I did hear that somewhere. The-
Right, the time obviously the time's different, but you burn exactly the same amount of calories. You use exactly the same muscles doing both exercises, but obviously walking is a lot gentler on your joints.
yeah, and that's what I'm going back to as soon as I get injury free.
Yeah, yeah,
Football
yeah,
seems to be the one that I just get injured all the time. Boxing's the same. Boxing's
yeah,
actually like I'm a lot more injury free in boxing than I am with the shoulder goes. Uh,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I bought a punch bag. I've got one downstairs. I try and use it 2 or 3 times a week. I do like half an hour at a time on it, but I do what I feel comfortable doing.
yeah. I think that might be me. Football seems to be just a recipe for disaster for me, but
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
drug. I love playing football.
We're if that's my game's rugby, right? And I play a game on a Saturday. It probably takes me 10 days to recover.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
it feels like at the moment with football. But
yeah, but
this
it's a
injury was the
drug.
most annoying because I didn't actually do anything. Like I
Right.
just came off going, it feels a bit tight, and then it's absolutely taken me out for about a week and a bit. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I get that. I think one of the other things I started doing is like I don't take lifts anymore. I don't take escalators.
that's interesting.
I walk.
I had a ex-colleague that did that. He was like, "Look, you're going to sit on your arse all day." We used to have to go and fix tills and stuff like that in bars and restaurants.
Yeah,
And every time I was with him, he was like, "Right, we're going to take the stairs up the tube because we sit down all day. So what's the point? Let's
yeah,
get moving."
yeah, yeah. And I, if you're like a travelator at an airport, I'll walk along it just so I get those extra steps in. I park a little bit further away from the shops. I know if I do a shop, it's like a weekly food shop. I used to get delivery. Yeah, but if you go to the shops, it's generally by the time you've walked all the way around the big supermarket, it's about 2,000 steps. The free steps.
Yeah, I can't trust myself in a supermarket though.
That is, there is a discipline that goes with that. And when you've got a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old who want everything sweet,
Something about I get to the counter in Tesco's and everyone's talking about a club card saving you a load of money.
Yeah.
Then look down. I've spent 200 quid. I've no idea what I've bought. It seems like I'm going back to the shop in 3 days' time as well.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, I think one of those my best things I found recently is my air fryer, and it's just
yeah,
sort
I've
of
got one
like
of them.
the things I've been making in my air fryer. I freaking love it. My daughter hates it and thinks it's like the devil itself. She's like, ovens are the only way to cook, and I was like, no, we air fry. But I was like, I started making Scotch eggs at home, and the kids absolutely love them. And it's like, how nutritious is that for a breakfast or for a snack or something like that? They're just eating eggs. Eddie will love it. But you're trying all these different things in there, and that I think that's the thing I've really taken out of my weight loss journey is don't be afraid to try something. It may not work for you, and it may not be beneficial, but at least you tried it and you found out.
Yeah, absolutely. So on your Instagram, you're inviting people to come on to like a course for you. So
Yeah, yeah.
what do you do
So,
now?
so what I do with that is it's a 12-week course. It's basically I want to try and give people. So we take where they're at now. We take what we find out what's a realistic goal that they can achieve. I ask all of my clients to find a bit of clothing that doesn't fit them, that is a realistic target for them to get back into in 12 weeks time. We do weekly and then basically we work out what their diet is. I don't try to change too much too quickly because the more change we put on, the more we stress people out.
Yeah.
So it's about gradual changes. It's about substitution. I had one guy that I was working with, not working with, but I was talking to him, and I just said, he's like, I don't know what to do, blah blah blah. He goes, I love drinking Coke. I said, well, drink Diet Coke instead. And he
Yeah.
went from, and that was a 500 calorie deficit a day, instantly by switching from 3 cans of Coke to 3 cans of Diet Coke.
Yeah, it seems so simple, doesn't it? So
And
do
it's
they have to pay for that? Is that how
Yeah,
it
so I
works? Yeah.
do. So the course, so I charge my guys 100. It's £100 a month. I do them their gym programs if they want one. I've got one guy. He's petrified of the gym, so he just wants to walk and eat better. And he's lost over the course of a year. He's lost 4.5 stone, just through food. So I give people the gym program. We have a weekly call. I've got a WhatsApp group. Sorry, they can WhatsApp me whenever they want, Monday to Friday. I'll answer them and help them out where they can. But we have the weekly calls and things like that, and we're constantly reassessing and setting challenges throughout the goal. So if somebody wants to lose 10 kilos in 3 months, that's the end goal. Now we're going to break that down into 10 little goals. So it's a kilo at a time. And we literally focus on, right, you've lost 1 kilo. Now let's look at another kilo.
Yeah, nice. That's
So,
interesting. So how many people have you kind of helped now then?
so over the time I've done 12, I've 12 clients. I'm slowly sort of building it up into more of at the moment, it's more of a side job. I want to take it online completely and build it up so that I can do it from anywhere and build myself up to a business. But I want to do it. I'm growing it organically rather than I don't have a lot of money to throw at it, so I'm not. And everyone I've worked with has lost at least 2 stone.
Nice. That's interesting.
Oh.
So we're not going down the kind of paid route,
Yeah.
um, purely because I don't feel that I'm qualified enough to help anyone.
And yeah, I'm with you. So you have that little bit of imposter syndrome that sort of like I've done my PT courses, I've done my nutrition coaching, and even that made me still go, but I've never worked in a gym in my life, right? So I
Yeah,
felt very conscious about charging people to start with.
for me, and this is like you sound like you've been and done it. I'm not done. I've not done it yet. I had to lose marginal weight. I don't feel that my advice is going to be helpful. But we've started a community, so if any of your kind of clients want to be part of a completely free community and yourself,
Yeah, and I'd love
um,
to, because I just
then
want to
yeah, get
help.
involved, because there'll be some people there you could pick up that would want paid.
Yeah,
But ours is
and
like weekly competitions, head to heads, that sort of thing, just to keep everyone on track.
you know
Um,
what? That's a brilliant way of doing it, because it just gives people love to be competitive, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. We do it on percentage of body weight. So even if you're 80 kilograms up against someone like myself, you have an equal chance to get losing. But so some of the people on there have just constantly lost weight from it. And again, like I think there is a lovely space for us in that community for someone to charge for their services. We
Yeah.
deal with a guy called Brian O'Keefe as well. He's not in the community, but has been a guest on the pod quite regularly. He's got a paid version. I do think that there's a huge need for that.
So for me, I think there are some people, right? I used to be a member of David Lloyd,
Yeah, yeah.
and they've got a specific type of class in there called Blaze, where everyone wears a heartbeat monitor, and it puts your score on screen so everybody can see it. So you're competing against other people in the room doing this exercise, right? I personally can't think of anything worse. I don't want to compete. When I go to the gym, I know when I'm working hard, because I can't. I come out, I'm dead. I can't. I'm broken. I don't need to compete against somebody. But then other people need that to keep them motivated, right? Everybody is different, and the one thing I've learned about coaching clients is that whilst my program is based on the same principles, I have to treat each client completely differently,
Oh,
because
absolutely. Yeah.
nobody functions the same.
Yeah, I think we noticed that with the four hosts that we've got. All of us
Yeah,
have different motivators and different drivers, and even though we'd all love to beat each other each week on weight loss, there's different things that get us all kind of out of bed in the morning.
yeah,
So yeah, as I say, I hope you all the best with the kind of paid route.
yeah.
Um,
Cheers.
we'd love to see if we can collab at all, because again, we've got no interest in doing that, but I'm sure there's people that would be really up for
I
having the kind of paid route.
Yeah, and look, I've been really key that for me building this up has been about doing it the right way, because I'm not in it to make. I want to, of course, I want to earn money from it in the long run. I want to make it a career choice where I'm my own boss and I can do it from wherever I want. But it's got to be done ethically. I've been sold so many bullshit plans and things like that over the years, where you buy into stuff and you're like, it's just a con.
Yeah,
Whereas the
I've
thing
done the
that,
same. Yeah,
yeah, the thing I liked about James Smith when I signed up with him was, whilst I never actually dealt with him, I dealt with his coaches and things like that. There was always a human touch, that weekly thingy. Are you okay? It only took that trainer 30 seconds to say, "Are you okay?" When I check in with the clients that I've got, my first question is, "What did you give me? Something you won at last week?"
yeah.
Right?
So it's all
And
positively focused. Yeah,
yeah, and listening, and you see in their joy when they tell you something that was successful for them, and that's
yeah,
your motivation for next week.
yeah. Absolutely. That's really good. And how do
Um,
people get in touch with you if people want to sign
So
up?
mine has been either through Instagram or it's been word of mouth.
And what is your Instagram handle?
Uh, Elm_coaching.
Elm_coaching. Okay, I'll put a post out on our social
Brilliant.
channels once this goes live.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to get in touch. And
Um.
your kind of demographic of person that you're looking to help, who have you got a
So
certain one, or is it anyone?
it's like I've done all these sort of like these how to develop your business and things like that, and everyone's like, you need to have this niche market. And it's like, but I just want to help people that want to help themselves.
Okay.
There isn't everybody has a need for something, right? I know what my skill set is, therefore I get other people in to help me with the bits that I can't do myself. So yeah, there's a need for. I mean, I coach. I coach. The one thing I found is that my outlook on how I coach, because I coach my son's rugby team, and I used to be a very sort of like I'm an excitable energizer bunny, I think was the words the RFU used for my coaching style. But even from that, I've learned to calm down, and it's all about positivity and challenging the kids to find who they want. So I don't care who I coach. It's if they want to achieve something, I can help them, and I don't want to ever limit myself to who I say I can and can't help.
Yeah, fair enough. And is there a pattern out of the 12 that you've helped already? Is there?
And they are all generally over 35. Everyone I've helped has been over 35.
Is that stone age?
Yeah. But most people have been, I think, most people I've helped haven't been ridiculously overweight, but what they have been is they've got themselves into a rut where they don't understand how to get themselves out of that rut.
Yeah, that kind of self-reflection part is the first step.
Yes.
Or like self-admittance, I think is probably the right way.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key things that I've learned, I work with them on it is, are you ready? Are you willing? And are you able to change?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great advice, that is, because again, back to the original, like what we said earlier, I think it's that constant habit of, right, we've got to
Yeah,
go again. And I think from my personal experience of going through multiple ups and downs with weight, I got to a point when we started this pod where it was like, I don't actually think I can diet, because I was trying to do it in a way where I could do it sustainably.
yeah,
Actually, the problem was just me being uneducated, or me proving that every diet did work for a period of time, but it wasn't sustainable. So that wasn't good advice. And
yeah,
I lost sight of what actually is a core healthy lifestyle, which is eating well in a calorie deficit for a period
yeah.
of time while moving like quite consistently.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's eating well 80% of the time,
Yeah,
right? Moving. If we go to the gym or we go to do some exercise, we do no more than an hour a day. Hour a day. So that is less than 5% of your day is taken up with exercise.
yeah,
And we expect to achieve massive results off less than 5% effort.
yeah. It's all diet. It's so much more.
It's what we do for
Yeah,
it's what we do for the other 95% of the day, the other 23 hours, right? And if we're moving more, we're being active, we're eating, we're not snacking, I always make sure I have protein with every meal. So I mean, I love I make a protein porridge for the kids. I can't remember the last time they had cereal. Their mother gives it to them, so when they come to me, they don't care that they don't get it. So they're getting a balance of the two. Protein overnight oats. One of the simplest meals breakfast you could ever make in the world, and my kids absolutely adore them. So it's a win-win for me as far as I'm concerned, and they're getting all the stuff that they need in their diet.
yeah.
So yeah, it's. I've almost stopped also saying that I'm in a diet. I never say I'm in a diet. I've just changed my lifestyle.
That's where I want to get to for sure. So I'm very
Yeah,
happy for you. Like 37 kilograms in 8 months, and the weight that you've got down to is like
it
really
was.
impressive.
And you know what the thing is, and you'll find as you go down, you just find that motivation to carry on, and you feel so much good about yourself when you buy a new bit of clothing that's smaller.
I've kept all of my old wardrobe, so I've just got bags of clothes that I need to dig out every time I get lower. But I try to put my wedding suit on, and it drowns me now. And
And how good does that make you feel?
kinda, I did spend a load of money.
One of the things when I was at my biggest is that I was like, I really don't want to buy a new wardrobe. I don't, when I was at like 120 kilos, I've got to buy new clothes because nothing freaking well fits me anymore. And now I've gone the other way, that none of my smaller clothes fitted me. So I had to go and buy a new wardrobe anyway. So either way, I damned if I did, damned if I didn't. So,
Yeah.
but it has. I mean, I've still got some of the items that I bought when I was at my biggest, and I got a hoodie. I joke you not, it looks like an absolute dress on me.
Yeah, some of the clothes are getting like that now. There's one or two items I can't put on, but the suit, I had a client meeting. I went to put the suit on. I got it on in the morning. I was like, it just
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
fit
yeah.
anymore.
I went to a wedding and just dragged my suit out and put it on, and the trousers fell down. I was like, well, that's really awkward.
Yeah, I stupidly didn't
Um,
get a belt buckle, so I couldn't even keep it. I look ridiculous in it anyway, but yeah, nightmare. Well,
yeah,
Richard,
no,
thank you so much for coming on.
mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. So I hope I've been of some use.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, yeah, it's good to hear all this, your kind of perspective of it all, because I think, I think I'm in a place now where I think I'm in a good headspace with dieting, but I'm also encroaching into old habits that I've done before, which is letting the chocolate bar creep into my day, let this sort of stuff creep into my day where I'm not gaining weight, but I must be kind of like treating myself unnecessarily. So
Unnecessary, and yeah, so I think with everything, it's about balance, isn't it? It's like have a chocolate bar, just don't have one every day, right? So
yeah, and I can fall into that habit really quickly. So it's good to hear someone who's kind of still having to go back to calorie counting is like a reset. I think that's a really good
it,
thing to take away from it.
that's the best way to look at it. It's a reset. It's a like, right, let's just take account of yourself again. Be accountable to yourself. Set yourself. What I also found, one thing was when you hit your target, reward yourself with something.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
when you've
I did
lost
that
that,
every week. And we have a weigh in every Thursday.
yeah,
I was having a takeaway, but within my calories.
okay. So change that instead of that. Something that you really want. Give yourself a budget. Something that you really
Caterpillar
want,
cake.
but you can't have. Yeah, but you can't have that thing until you've achieved your targets. You've seen a new shirt you want, or you've seen a something for the house, or something like that that you want, but you can't have it until you've hit your target.
Yeah, I like that. That will stop me browsing and spending as well.
Exactly. So right, I can't have that until I've lost that, and you're taking your focus away from the food.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that.
Instead of rewarding with food, because again, it's the demonization of food. Oh, look, I've done that, so I can reward myself with something with a takeaway. Don't reward yourself. Have a takeaway because you want a takeaway.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm
Um,
definitely going to do that. That's quality advice.
yeah. So yeah, it's just little just reframing things. There's one book that it's called The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis. Two Israeli psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, and it's about how the human mind we lie to ourselves to fit our narrative. And it's an unbelievable. It'll change the way you look at everything.
I'm in
Um,
sales. People want to hear what they want, right? A lot of
yeah,
our kind of closing routes is very much kind of trying to get to the understanding of what someone is wanting to
yeah.
hear and then
Well,
pushing them along
here
that.
they right. So Daniel Kahneman has won a Nobel Peace Prize for economy for an economist, and yet he's a psychologist. He's got no interest in anything down that line, but because of his algorithms and things like that. But the one takeaway I got from them was that they created an algorithm where they could diagnose cancer better than a doctor could, and yet they're not doctors
Wow.
because they listened. Doctors will listen to the answer and make the answer fit the question. They'll make the question fit the answer, whereas they just listen to what you say and then they put it in the right boxes.
That
Yeah,
is really interesting. I'll have a look at that. What was that book called? Undoing.
The Undoing Project.
Okay. I've got a lot of listening after this.
And
I'm going to
you've
be
got an
listening
awful
to
lot of
Goggins on the train.
Yeah, you'll be like, damn it, I shouldn't have done that podcast. I've got no time for anything else. I literally, and that's the other thing. When I go for a walk every day, I listen to a podcast whilst I'm walking. Because
I did that during COVID. It worked really well because it was just an hour to just let your brain empty with thoughts.
Exactly. So get back to it. If it worked for you, then get back to it now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can't actually walk at the moment, but as soon as I can,
as soon as you can, just get a wheelchair and wheel yourself along whilst doing that.
Good man. Well, Richard, thanks so much for coming on.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
For the listeners, it's Richard Phillips, men's weight loss coach. That's at ELMM_coaching on Instagram. And there's a calendar and everything that you can book Richard on. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on again, Richard. And definitely want to see if we can collab at some point.
100%.
And if I've got anyone that comes into the community that's looking for kind of a paid program, I'll definitely chuck them.
Please send them my way. I'd love to see how your journey's going, and how you do. So, what are you down to now from where you were? You were at 170, and you are now.
I was well. The start of the year was the start of the competitions and leagues that we've done. We were 164. I was 164 when I started. I'm down to 147.
That's amazing. You should be so proud of that. That's awesome.
I'm now comfortable at this weight where I'm looking at myself going, "You're fat. Let's get down." So I need to have another good month to get some stuff off. But
so right,
it's all going in the right way.
Set yourself a little. Set yourself that next kilo, and off you go.
Good man, Richard. Thank you so much,
Ian. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, and hope you've enjoyed it.
You too. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
We've got some diet plans, health scans, sugar bans, fitness fans, PTs, injuries, laying off the Chinese, ball games, gym chains, protein gains and skin tight tops, and we ain't gonna stop until we hit the 50k. Drop, 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 drop. No excess fat, no FAT, no curry bag, no guarantee. Rough or buff, lean on me. We'll end up as fit as a pig.